the big question, why is search still so hard to get right? So I've got a few questions, a few possible reasons for this to really set the theme for today. So this is a query, this is quite a funny one. So as I said, OpenSource Connections is a US company originally, and we have lots of US colleagues. And this is a search query that an American might use coming to Europe, want to buy a French press. Hands up who knows what a French press is? Yeah, so a scattering. And that goes off to the search engine. Now, when we did this event in Paris, very few people put their hands up, which is strange. You know, French press, surely it's a French thing. People know what it is in France. They didn't. So if you're lucky, you get back things that are relevant, things like this. I'll attempt to say the Polish. Zamenek Dorkawi-ish. That's about all the Polish you're going to hear from me today, so enjoy it while it lasts. But you know, it isn't necessarily something that a French person would recognize, or even a French search engine. In fact, I tried this query on some big French supermarkets, and it didn't work. You might just get 0 results, so you've got a problem. You know what to call something, but the language the search engine speaks, the language in the index, isn't the same, so you don't get a match. Now, a quick call out, who's here from Allegro? Anyone here from Allegro? Fantastic, well done, because I tried this search on your website and back came what the Americans would call a French press. So search is solved, well done. Does every other search query work perfectly? They're looking nervous now, so okay. So, also, I don't really know what you want. When you type in a query like, say, cafetiere glass, so again, cafetiere, French press, the same thing, what might you think that means? Well, we ask our search engine, back comes some results. Oh, you can buy some cafetieres, here we go, we have one here, we have, you know, actually, the glass in my cafetiere is broken. I want some new glass. I just want to buy that part. You didn't understand what I meant. Intention, search intention, is really hard to guess. Do I want to buy something? Am I researching something? Am I a competitor? Am I just bored and it's late and I'm scrolling through a website and looking for things I will never buy? It's hard to know search intention. Then we have, how do we measure how good search is? So again, we do our search here and back come. Now, which is the best result of those two? Now, I'd guess probably the first one's the best result. But actually, I may want the second one. I just don't know how to describe it. It's like a cafetiere, but it's a metal one. I saw one in Italy once. I'll just type in cafetiere, and actually, I want the second one. Which is the best result? And that's hard to work out. So how can I measure this? Are these good results? How can I score them, maybe? What kind of metrics could I produce to measure how good search is? And relevance is subjective. Different people will give those two items different scores. Some people will say the first one is a 5 out of 5, brilliant. The second one's a 1. Other people might give one 3 and the other one 2. Someone might, so it's very hard, it's very subjective. And that's difficult when we're trying to measure how good search results are. And here's the other problem. Anyone who's worked in search for a long time will have encountered this. You're the poor search engineer working very hard, and all you get is complaints. You might just be one person. Some very large organizations have a single person running their search, you know, big multinational companies. So your user is saying, why are your results so terrible? I'm looking for cafetieres and you're giving me bags of coffee. That's terrible. I'm going to send a complaint. Your boss can't even find the products you sell. You get that call on a Sunday night. I've been looking for cafetieres. I know we sell these things. I was trying to buy one, and it just doesn't come back in the results. Drop everything. Fix this search. This is a problem we know as the HIPPO problem, the highest paid person's opinion. And that may not actually be a search that matters to anyone else, but your boss told you, so you're going to be fixing it on Monday morning. And then we have, why can't you make it like Google? Yes, this happens a lot. Why can't you make it like Google? Google found these things. Why can't you make it like Google? Well, unfortunately, I don't have 1,000 people with PhDs and all the money in the world. So, yeah, that's another problem. You can often end up with just all the development coming from complaints. The loudest person complaining gets the attention. That's not a healthy pattern. And then what sort of technologies do you choose? There's lots of commercial search engines. There's lots of open source search engines, which is better, which is more useful, which is going to survive for longer, who's contributing to it. Then we've got all the magical new vector search databases and engines. These are all, wonderful, and the demos look very impressive, but a lot of them are quite new, and they're really complicated, and maybe they take long time and resources to train their models. And we have the problem that all that glitters is not gold, just because, as somebody said to me once, the demo is never the product. You've got to bear that in mind. What you see that's shiny and marvelous may not be something that's going to really work for you. Martin White, who wrote some of the kind of reference books on enterprise search from a business perspective, and he's been doing this a lot longer than I have, he talks about search being a wicked problem, a problem that's difficult to or impossible to solve because of incomplete, contradictory, and changing requirements that are often difficult to recognize. Interestingly, he identifies working as a team, work with a search team. This concept of search team is really important. We've got to have our search team working effectively together to solve these problems. Not just that one poor person who handles search, but everyone who touches search. The people who get the complaints from the users, the people measuring with web analytics, the people dealing with content that's got to go into the search engine, the management. All these people are part of a search team. So, what's Haystack? And particularly, what's Haystack on tour? Well, we've been running Haystack events since 2018. In fact, the first Haystack event I went to, I wasn't working for OpenSource Connections, I was working for one of their partners, and I thought it was marvelous. It was the first time I'd been in a room with a bunch of people who all understood what I did for a living. I didn't have to say to them what I say to my mother, which is, well, it's a bit like Google, but not really. So we've run 4 Haystack US conferences in OSC's hometown of Charlottesville. We've run the Haystack in Europe, once in London, a couple of times in Berlin. We've done online events. We have a meetup that meets every 4 to 6 weeks when we have talks, which we started in the pandemic. And we ran our first Haystack on tour in Paris last November, which was great fun. And we're planning to do more. This is one. We're hoping to go to Spain in May as well. All the talks we have, everything we can record, we put up on our YouTube channel to share the knowledge, spread the knowledge. But what is Haystack itself? It's for people where search really matters, and it matters to your business's bottom line. If you get search right, then it's going to really affect your business. And it's for all those members of the search team, managers, developers, engineers, data scientists, content people, product owners, finding ways to do innovative things, get past those magical silver bullets, share what actually has worked, and importantly, what hasn't worked. Some of my favorite presentations are the ones where people say, we tried this, didn't work. We tried this other thing, didn't work. We tried this other thing, didn't work. And it sounds depressing, but actually you learn a lot from those stories. And it's all about sharing. So we want everyone here to share their experiences with search, things they've seen that have worked, things they haven't. Hopefully you'll all be able to learn not just from what we talk about up here, from each other. So I'm going to encourage you to meet each other, talk to each other, find your tribe, find people in the same situation as you, and you can learn from them as much as you can learn from the presentations. All our talks, we don't do vendor sponsorship. We don't have anyone paying to play. This is about people sharing stories and insights on a neutral peer-to-peer basis as much as anything else. This year, our US event is the week of the 24th of April. We've got a whole week of events, meetups, conference days, social events, our brand new training, which I mentioned earlier, co-working, a bit of hacking, and even a trip to some local wine farms around Charlottesville. Please do check it out. So, in summary, what do we want to do from Haystack on Tour? We want to help with today's search problems, show you what's coming next, talk about some of those potential magical silver bullets, but what works and what doesn't, what they actually mean. Encourage mutual support, learning from each other, meeting people, making new contacts, making new friends. And also, importantly, we want to try and build or help build the Polish search community. We don't want this to be the last search event that happens in Krakow or in Poland. We want you to start doing these things yourselves, and we can support and help with that. So think about that. Could you do a search meetup in your town? We also have the relevant Slack group, which has got over 3,500 people from around the world talking about search, and we'd love to have a Polish language channel in that, for example. So this is the mission today. Building search is hard, but if we work together, we can try and make it easier. Everyone cool with that? Yeah? Excellent. So this is our agenda for today. Next up will be my colleague, René Kriegler, who'll be talking about a systematic way to improve search. Then we have a break, about 10 minutes. Now, during the break, we're going to be starting to build a set of topics for the BarCamp. That's at the end of the day. We don't know what we're going to be talking about yet. This is what we're going to build together. You can see the board behind you here. And during the day, you can put a topic up there you'd like to talk about. And at 5:30, we're going to try and group those topics and split off into groups and talk about what we come up with. But we don't know what we're going to talk about yet. So you want to talk about the search user experience, or you want to talk to other search product owners, or you want to talk about vector search, or e-commerce search, or search in Polish, or whatever it is. Write a little sticky, put it up on the board during the day, write it on the board, and we'll then gather it together later. And René will be leading that session. We have breakout rooms around here, which we'll talk about a bit later. So during the breaks, please do that. After the break, we have Piotr and Arek, who will be talking about voice search, 2 talks there. Then we have a slightly longer break, so 4:10, where we have some food coming out. And after that, we have my colleague Atita, who will be talking about vector search for e-commerce, and Zabisco, who's again talking about a vector versus keyword search approach. So we've got some fantastic talks. I do hope you enjoy them. And again, thanks so much to edrone and our friends in Poland who've helped us make this possible, and to all our speakers today. If you want to talk to anyone from OpenSource Connections, we're here. I'm Charlie, it's René, there's Atita, and we're happy to have any discussion you like about the world of search. But really looking forward to meeting you all properly and having a great day. So, thank you.